Hello everybody, we are going to be covering something that I should have covered like 6 months ago, and I apologize for that. But before we start, please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new to me, new to hockey, whatever the case it may be. Now let's get into it. And I'm going to be covering the 2022 Stanley Cup Final. If you saw the thumbnail, if you saw the title, no, you are not reading it wrong. I'm just getting back around to it. Basically, I was moving into a different city and trying to find a job, so I wasn't able to really get to that video. Thought I did it, and then I looked back at my series playlist the other day for the playoff reviews, realized I didn't, and I feel terrible. Now let's get into it and finally just seal this one up. As the first game of this, you had the Lightning taking on Colorado. In Colorado, this one was a game that Colorado had a good chance, but Tampa Bay was able to put up a little bit of a fight, send it into overtime, and then Andre Burakovsky ended up winning the game for them in overtime, make it a 4-3 W to take a 1-0 series lead. That's kind of where it was ironic and kind of poetic for the future, where overtime goals really hurt the Lightning in this series. Game 2, this by far was the worst game of this series if you're looking at just final score, and in general, it just was not a fun game to watch. I ended up watching it, and then when it got to be to where it did, I turned it off probably within the beginning of the third period. I don't remember what the score was at the time, but Colorado won this game 7-0 to take a 2-0 series lead. Seemed like the end of the world. That's okay though, because in game 3, first game back for Tampa Bay, the Lightning win 6-2. That is big for them because it feels like they stopped a lot of that momentum, and had they lost this game to Colorado after just getting spanked, that they would have been down 3-0. You weren't going to be able to come back from a 3-0 deficit against this Colorado team when they were rolling. Game 4 comes around, and the Avalanche are in this game, and they, of course, win this one as well in overtime. This one was big because you look at this right here. They win 3-2 in OT. This stung so bad for the Lightning because now you're down 3-1. Basically, every single person knew that the series was over. But you also realize that had they been able to score in game 1 and 4, that they theoretically would have the 3-1 lead. It's okay though, because in game 5, the Lightning respond and they win 3-2 at Colorado. And that one was really just kind of where you're looking at this thinking maybe, just maybe, if they can force that game 6, which they did, they could win this one and it's going to be fine. That's all right. So they go back home for game 6 for this series. This is where things kind of got where you looked at this and you saw this game and you felt like Tampa Bay might have a chance, but as time wore on, you realized that Colorado had this. They won, of course, in 6 games, 2-1. This would be their first championship since 2001. And all around, while I know that it's been basically over 6 months and I wasn't able to provide a ton of insight in this series, I do know that Tampa Bay ended up not scoring in overtime, which was a big problem for them in this series. And then I also know that they really just got flat out outplayed for most of this series. Colorado looked like the better team for just huge chunks. Vasilevsky had some bad moments. The team just looked really like they were not on the same level as Colorado in this series. And yeah, had Tampa Bay been able to score those OT goals, they might be the team that won the cup. Maybe not. Maybe they just extend the series. But in general, I look at this series, and while it might be painful for some Tampa Bay fans, I still think the better team won here. Colorado just absolutely just got them. Most of this series, they were in favor of the shots for, were in favor of the Avs multiple times in this series. I think it might be actually maybe 5 times in the series that they had the shots for advantage. That's not the sole thing here, but in general, this was just kind of a demolition for Colorado and a coronation of a long-awaited trophy for McKinnon and the rest of the guys. But what were your thoughts on the Stanley Cup Final 6 months later? Again, I apologize. This will never happen again. I just cannot believe that it went past me. I realized it the other day. Please let me know down below in the comments. Also, make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it 6 months later than you probably expected, and subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night, and you go love hockey, alright? Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.